This is Valley View News.
Earthquake.
No. Shaking expected in 5 seconds.
Earthquake experts at Caltech are working on an early warning system for quakes.
But this bipartisan blueprint is a major breakthrough.
A new immigration plan could save Los Angeles billions of dollars. Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens win Super Bowl 47.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Fanny Cano.
And I'm Rabia Rashid.
At least 8 people are dead after a tour bus crashed in the San Bernardino Mountains. The tour group was returning to Tijuana from a ski trip at Big Bear Lake. The California Highway Patrol was on site.
It's a terrible scene, a horrific scene. There's multiple victims. There's personal belongings, personal property at the scene.
CHP officers worked in the corner to remove and cover the bodies of those who were thrown from the vehicle. The driver says the brakes failed, causing the bus to slam into the sedan, flip over, and hit a pickup truck. Investigators are inspecting the vehicle to confirm mechanical problems. More than 3,000 people were transported to nearby hospitals, some in critical condition. Interbus Tours of Tijuana is working with the local Mexican consulate to help the families of those affected by the tragedy.
It's been 2 weeks since a group of 8 senators from both sides of the aisle introduced a plan for immigration reform. Jonathan Gonzalez takes a look at what immigration reform will look like and how it will affect our local economy.
Do we have the resolve as a people, as a country, as a government, to finally put this issue behind us?
That's what President Obama asked one day after this so-called gang of 8 senators introduced the latest plan for immigration reform.
We still have a long way to go, but this bipartisan blueprint is a major breakthrough.
There are 4 major provisions. 1, it would revamp current legal immigration laws, like attaching green cards to math and science degrees. It would then penalize employers who hire undocumented workers and create a guest worker program for jobs many Americans are unwilling to take. But the most controversial aspect is an eventual path to citizenship for the nation's 11 million undocumented immigrants, requiring them to learn English and pay a penalty. Critics say the plan is no more than amnesty, that current laws are just fine but merely not enforced. But the senators were quick to point out that no path to citizenship will be created until borders like these in California are secure.
I hope I never again in the future have to come back here and say, guess what, folks? We have another 5 million people that are here undocumented.
So how would immigration reform affect Los Angeles? 10% of the city's residents are undocumented, bringing in a combined economic output of $106 billion a year. That generates more than 1 million jobs for the city and another $9 billion in tax revenue. But along with the economic benefits, Republicans weren't shy about why they say they want or need immigration reform to pass.
The Republican Party is losing the support of our Hispanic citizens.
Latinos aren't stupid.
CSUN Chicano-Chicana Studies professor Gabriel Gutierrez says the GOP is missing the point.
Senator Rubio, who comes from an ethnic national group that doesn't relate to Central Americans, to Guatemalans, to Mexicans, who are refugees from their own civil wars, but he comes from a group as a Cuban American that not only has the dry foot, wet foot policy, which you're accepted, but then you get subsidized if you get here.
As for when legislation will be passed, the senators are aiming to get reform on the president's desk sometime in the next 6 months. If they don't complete the task, President Obama says he'll introduce his own immigration reform. For Valley View News, I'm Jonathan Gonzalez.
The Los Angeles Unified School District has fired a former priest suspected of child abuse. Former clergyman Joseph Piña's alleged misconduct was made public in documents released by the Catholic Church on a court order. The documents alleged Piña was sexually involved with a 17-year-old girl. The abuse was not reported to police. The LAUSD is investigating how Piña was hired. No incidents of the misconduct have been reported while Piña worked for the LAUSD.
A preschool in Carson will be shutting down after allegations that 4- and 5-year-olds engaged in sexual activity. Officials say some students at the First Lutheran Church of Carson would engage in sex acts in the classroom, the bathroom, and on the school playground. Church leaders say the school is closing its doors because the school director is resigning for reasons not relevant to the sexual allegations. The California Department of Social Services has cited the school for improper student-to-teacher ratio and for at least one of the sexual encounters.
A man and a woman have been found dead in a parking lot of a condominium complex near UC Irvine. The two were found with gunshot wounds. Both bodies were in a parked car. Detectives say they believe the two were victims of a double homicide. Officials say neither of them were college students. Investigators did not say when the shooting took place. No arrests have been made.
A 5-year-old boy is safe after being held hostage for nearly a week in Alabama. Jimmy Lee Dykes, the man who kidnapped the boy, was found dead at the scene. Dykes had taken the boy from a school bus after shooting its driver. The boy was held in a bunker 90 miles outside Montgomery. FBI officials finally entered the bunker after Dykes was seen carrying a gun. Negotiators say they were able to monitor Dykes by lowering a camera into the small room. There is no word yet on how the man died.
In places around the world, like Japan and Mexico, scientists have designed a working earthquake early system that has yet to be used here in the States. State lawmaker Alex Padilla recently introduced a system that may benefit California. Valley View News reporter Charnay Davenport has more.
Earthquake, earthquake, earthquake.
That's the sound you'll hear from a new earthquake early warning system. Watch as seismologists at Caltech demonstrate.
Magnitude is one number that tells you the total energy in the event.
In the case of a hard-hitting earthquake, this system will alert cell phones and computers will be interrupted. California has a history of damaging earthquakes. Many believe this state is the next stop for the technology. The system, though, comes with a hefty price tag, $80 million. Supporters of this technology include Senator Alex Padilla. He says it's not the price tag we should focus on, but instead the lives it will save.
When you put the $80 million figure side by side with the billions upon billions of damage that we suffer after every big earthquake, I think the investment's a no-brainer.
How much warning you get depends on how far away you are from the event.
The warning system will send alerts as much as a minute before shaking occurs and as little as 6 seconds.
6 seconds may not seem like a lot of time, but say you're in an elevator when you get an alert on your phone. This system will bring the elevator to the nearest floor to get you to safety.
This potential life-saving information could give you just enough time to get to safety and increase the speed of emergency help. Leaders believe the technology has already saved lives when the 9.0 earthquake struck Japan in 2011. The earthquake early warning system had been activated thanks to the scientists seen here who understand the value of a few seconds.
Once we get another large earthquake, I'm certain everyone would say we should have had it.
Reporting from Caltech, Charnay Davenport, Valley View News.
John Kerry has been formally welcomed as the U.S. Secretary of State. His staff greeted him with cheers and applause. The former Massachusetts senator says he has big heels to fill. He also asked his staff if a man could actually run the State Department. The new Secretary of State vows to focus on security and safety of the U.S. delegates worldwide. Kerry replaces former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, who formally resigned from the position last week. Condoleezza Rice, Colin Powell, and Madeleine Albright have held the previous positions as Secretary of State.
The U.S. state has tried to extend the new version of the Violence Against Women Act. The proposed bill would expand the law protecting women from domestic abuse. Additionally, the bill seeks to broaden coverage to include Native Americans, gays, and lesbians. The 1994 law expired over a year ago. If passed, the new bill would provide shelters and help for victims of domestic violence, regardless of their sexual orientation or immigration status.
New York Mayor Ed Koch was honored by former President Bill Clinton at the service held in Manhattan. Koch died of a congestive heart failure at age 88. Bill Clinton served as a representative for President Barack Obama at the funeral and called Koch a quintessential New Yorker. Frank Sinatra's famed song, New York, played in the background as the coffin was carried past thousands of mourners at the end of the Manhattan Emanuel El Synagogue. New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg praised Koch for his intelligence, honesty, and independence.
President Obama is campaigning to gain support for his national gun control measures. The president's proposals came largely in response to the December shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut.
Haley Skeen joins us from the newsroom with some of the ideas California is debating.
California lawmakers are considering a bill that would allow teachers and other campus employees to carry guns on school grounds. It's a proposal that's drawn both support and criticism.
I don't think guns should be on campuses.
I do believe in the fact that we ought to arm our teachers.
California legislators are considering a bill that would put firearms in the hands of teachers and employees at public schools. Los Angeles County School District campuses are served by the LA School Police Department. LASPD Lieutenant Chris Stevens warns against giving guns to teachers.
Anything we bring into a fight can be used as a liability against us, so I would caution us arming teachers or anybody on a school campus if it's not a trained police officer.
Hart Street Elementary School nurse Linda Munster says there are already enough security measures in place.
LAPD comes by and monitors the campus, and I do see them, their presence on the campus, just so that the kids and the families are familiar with them.
If you just look at the high schools, we have at least one uniformed police officer on campus. Some campuses have two. And most middle schools in the district have a uniformed police officer.
Most schools that I know of, or the schools that my kids have attended, have been closed schools. It means that people need to check in through the office.
National Rifle Association member David Dreamis says that all people should be better able to protect themselves.
It would limit a situation or slow a situation down and cause less people to get injured if maybe more people were trained and understood the use of carrying a weapon.
Lieutenant Stevens says LASPD officers are armed with shotguns, patrol rifles, and handguns.
Giving a police officer just a handgun is not enough.
President Obama has asked Congress to support a national ban on all assault weapons. Sue Pfeffer has 2 children at Granada Hills Charter High School.
It's hard for me to fathom how an assault rifle might be useful in a setting other than for the purpose of killing people.
Stevens says that officers may need these types of weapons to do their job.
If we give the officers the tools they need to include a shoulder-fired weapon, we want them to be able to match or exceed whatever weapon system a suspect might bring to the table.
You're spending a lot of government time and energy and taxpayers' money to try to prevent something that you can't really control, you're not going to control.
The schools, I think, statistically, are safer than some of the city streets and neighborhoods that our kids live in. And I think the schools are a very safe place. That's what the Los Angeles School Police Department does. That's our business.
The LAUSD has announced plans to hire more than 1,000 aides to boost campus security. However, new staff will carry two-way radios rather than guns. Back to you in the studio.
A Pakistani student and education activist continues to improve after she was shot and critically wounded by Taliban gunmen. Malala Yousafzai was shot in October 2012 as an assassination attempt by Taliban. She was sent to the United Kingdom for intensive care. Doctors at Birmingham said surgery was successful and she is showing signs of improvement.
God gave me a new life because of the prayers of people and because of the talent of doctors.
Yousafzai was nominated for the International Children's Peace Prize and has won Pakistan's first National Youth Peace Prize. The New York Times documentary The Following Summer was filmed about her battle against ignorance and promoting education. Former British Prime Minister and current UN Special Envoy Gordon Brown launched a United Nations petition in Yousafzai's name using the slogan "I am Malala" and demanding that all children worldwide be in school by the end of 2015.
22 migrant workers are dead after a gravel-filled truck rammed a bus in United Arab Emirates. The crash injured 24 people about 150 kilometers east of Abu Dhabi. Director of Abu Dhabi's traffic says the truck ended up on top of the bus due to a faulty brakes. The injured were taken to local hospitals.
An Egyptian activist group claims police have killed one of its members. The Egyptian Popular Current Party says Mohammed El Gandhi died of brain injury after allegedly being beaten and tortured by police in Cairo. El Gandhi went missing after protesting in Cairo's Tahrir Square against Egyptian President Mohammed Morsi. The activists say El Gandhi's body showed signs he had been electrocuted. Police officials had no immediate comment.
Coming up in sports, the Super Bowl almost gets blacked out. Puppies take over the game of football. And did the Lakers really lose another big lead?
It's Timothy Green's first day at school.
What's in there? He's about to fall over.
Anything he might need. There's a box of tissues on the bottom and some Band-Aids. There's a whole first aid kit, actually.
Mom, I can handle it from here.
You don't have to be perfect.
Have a great day.
It's too much pressure.
Have the day you have.
To be a perfect parent.
There are two people in the world who want you more than anything. They'll make some mistakes, but they will love you more than you can ever imagine.
There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Come on, let's go.
Just a minute, I gotta finish this.
Wait, you're gonna post those pictures of Mary?
Yep. She thinks she's so hot.
But her mom and dad will see them. Her grandmother, her little sister, everyone she knows, it's gonna kill her.
Who cares? Just a couple of pictures. It's no big deal.
No big deal? Don't. This has gotta stop.
Now it's time for sports. Jonathan Gonzalez is here with the Super Bowl news and an update on the Lakers.
Sports bars in the area prepared for large crowds and busy parties for the Super Bowl. Busby's in LA was just one of the many. Reporter Melanie Shale has the story.
An empty sidewalk, patio, and bar signifies the calm before the Super Bowl storm for the best sports bar in town. Busby's East in the heart of Los Angeles hosts multiple rooms to fit the hundreds. It also includes games and huge plasma TVs surrounding each wall for the ultimate sports bar experience. Manager Felipe Rivera prepares himself and his staff for one of the most profitable and biggest sports event of the year.
We always have a great turnout for a Super Bowl, and usually it happens within the first week of. So we start getting emails for large parties.
Rivera says that for an event like the Super Bowl, the employees must be on a tight schedule.
So we can get the best customer service for every single person that comes in here to drink and have a good time.
Julie Barsman says it is the one event she looks forward to working the most.
There's a whole culture behind, football, and everybody just comes together here, and it's great. It's just a good vibe.
Busby's may not be busy right now, but after prepping the whole morning, the staff is expecting a very busy Super Bowl. 2 hours later, football fans slowly started to arrive and said Busby's is the best place to watch their favorite team.
I like the staff, I like the owners, and chances are I'll run into some friends of mine.
It's my home bar. I know everybody here. I know the staff. I know my friends here. It's easy to come here. It's the home bar.
The fans were also ready to cheer on their favorite team.
Niners, baby, the Niners all day.
Some more Ravens.
One 49ers fan tells us what she would do if they won.
I will probably cry like I've been crying all day because I'm so emotional.
Reporting from Los Angeles, I'm Melanie Shale for Valley View News.
As for the game itself, it was quite the one-sided contest until just after halftime. The Ravens dominated the 49ers early on, taking a 21-6 lead into the half. Now, you would think the Niners would use the half to relax and regroup. No. Ravens kick returner Jacoby Jones kicked off the half with a 108-yard touchdown return, down 28-6. It was all over for the Niners until this happened. That's right, the Superdome got a little less super when all of a sudden the lights went out in the third quarter. Here's an expert fan who explains all the extremely probable things that could have caused the blackout.
I wasn't sure if it was a rat that ate the wire, or somebody pulled a chip out of the computer, or it was a transformer or whatever, but the bottom line is, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Well, the power was eventually restored as the Ravens went on to stop a roaring comeback from the 49ers to win their first Super Bowl since 2000. Wow, look at running back Ray Rice, who's all smiles again after nearly fumbling the game away. Ravens win by 3, 34-31. Now, there's been a lot made recently about how rough the game of football has gotten. There's one game every year that takes the word rough to another level. Take a look at these vicious beasts, just frightening creatures, my goodness. Look at these two. They had to be separated, those trash barkers. Now, what would Super Bowl Sunday be without the Puppy Bowl? Take a look at this. Little pup who picks up the fumble and takes it to the doghouse, or, well, the dog bowl. The MVP, most valuable puppy, went to Marta, a Schnauzer Beagle mix. As for who won the game, well, they're still trying to figure that out. And speaking of trying to figure things out, the Lakers were in Detroit dominating the Pistons like the Lakers of old. Well, until the new Lakers showed up. The purple and gold were clobbering the not-so-bad boys by 18 in the third quarter after a 10-0 run. But their 72-54 lead evaporated. Pistons rookie Andre Drummond dunked over Pau Gasol to cut it to 76-70. But up only 1 point late in the fourth, Steve Nash, the man who owns the best free throw percentage the league has ever seen, gets fouled and misses both. Lucky for him, the Pistons' final shot was no good as the Lakers hold on to win 98-97.
So at the Super Bowl, that blackout really lasted a long time. People are really questioning, did it really play a factor in the outcome of the game? What do you think?
Fenny, yeah, it lasted 35 minutes. I mean, that is an eternity, especially in football. They were warming up, and it was, you know, some people are considering it kind of like a second halftime. The Niners came out after halftime, again, cold, especially the special teams, allowing that long touchdown return, but it really rejuvenated them. They came back all the way, well, almost 28-26. They just couldn't do that two-point conversion, and you know, I honestly think because the Ravens had that in the fourth quarter, they had that goal line stand. They stopped them. I don't think the momentum truly shifted, but I think it did definitely help the Niners out. But regardless, people are going to be talking about that for years to come.
Definitely. Thank you, Jonathan.
Beyoncé brought out special guests during her halftime performance at this year's Super Bowl. Jennifer Hudson sang alongside classmates of the victims from the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings. All of that and more after the break.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking.
Red state, blue state, vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities, our families, united. Even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Hey!
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Here's the scoop. And now here is Ashley Luke with your entertainment news.
Thank you, Ravia. Beyoncé rocked the stage at a highly anticipated Super Bowl halftime show, starting out with a near a cappella version of Love on Top, followed with a fierce strut while singing Crazy in Love. The R&B diva then took it back for her longtime fans with a Destiny's Child reunion, bringing out Kelly Rowland and Michelle Williams. The performance drew a huge reaction from Twitter users. Beyoncé and her friends generated 5.5 million tweets for their 15 minutes on stage. The entire Super Bowl had 24 million tweets. The Super Bowl was not the only thing people watched this weekend. Warm Bodies was a box office hit, bringing in $20 million. The zombie movie, directed by Jonathan Levine, references the classic Romeo and Juliet love story. The main characters are and Julie were played by Nicholas Hoult and Teresa Palmer. They managed to find love in this apocalyptic film. Warm Bodies is based on the novel by Isaac Morton. Oscar Award winner Jennifer Hudson joined forces with 26 Sandy Hook choir students to perform America the Beautiful before this year's Super Bowl. The 3-minute performance was presented in front of the nation right before kickoff between San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens. Hudson was accompanied by students who were classmates of the victims in the mass shooting in Connecticut. Hudson says working with the children was amazing and a privilege. Singer Alicia Keys has received nothing but praise for her performance at this year's Super Bowl. Keys performed the longest version of the national anthem in Super Bowl history, clocking in at 1 minute and 56 seconds. In a form-fitting red gown, Keys sang behind a white piano right before kickoff. The singer tweeted she felt blessed to be in Louisiana showing love for her country. The Oscar nominations are out for this year's films. Family Guy creator Seth MacFarlane will host the 85th Academy Awards at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles. Some of the film nominations rounding out the list include Argo, Django, Unchained, and more. Bradley Cooper, Joaquin Phoenix, Hugh Jackman, Denzel Washington, and Daniel Day-Lewis are all up for the Leading Actor Award. Actress Naomi Watts is also nominated for her role in the movie The Impossible. The Oscars air February 24th on ABC. Facebook grows a year older this week. The popular social networking site celebrates its 9th birthday. The site isn't the only one getting older. Its popularity has spread to the older generation. New Hampshire is trying to figure out who gets rights and ownership over a deceased person's page. A lawmaker has introduced legislation to allow an estate's administrator to have control over the social networking pages of the dead. The bill would allow control of someone's Facebook, Twitter, and other accounts, such as Gmail. He says the bill would bridge a gap between online policies and would help protect families who have suffered a loss. Opponents of the bill say the issue would be better suited for federal law. 5 other states, including Idaho and Rhode Island, have already established laws regulating online media after death. And now back to you, Ruby and Fanny.
LA is a cultural mecca, home of people from nearly 140 countries speaking over 200 different languages. Reporter Alexa Funk takes a look at celebrations from one holiday observed by Asian cultures.
It's already been a month since the New Year was rung in, but Asian cultures around the world are celebrating the Lunar New Year, which lasts for 2 weeks. Festivities in Pasadena took place at the Pacific Asia Museum.
Drums, dragons, and arts and crafts kicked off the 3rd annual Lunar New Year Festival in Pasadena. The festival was free to the general public. Dance performances by the Little Red Flowers troupe took place throughout the day. Calligraphy lessons were also available to those wanting to learn how to spell their name. In honor of the upcoming Year of the Snake, children spent time decorating a wired mesh replica. The Pacific Asia Museum's gallery was also open to the public, featuring pottery and other works of art. Visitors could buy Chinese food from the variety of food trucks that line the streets. A popular attraction was the high-flying stunts of the Taekwondo Explore Team. Many visitors found the festival to be both entertaining and educational.
We moved from North Carolina, a little town called Supply. And one of the reasons why we moved was because there wasn't that much culture. So we're really happy to be here.
I have 2 boys, and I wanted them to know about the culture of Chinese, obviously, and I decided to come check it out. They had a blast. We were going to go see the lion dance pretty soon.
Yes. Gung Hei Fat Choi. Gung Hei Fat Choi is Happy New Year in Cantonese, Gong Shi Fat Sai in the Mandarin dialect. Red envelopes are traditionally filled with money and given by elders to the young.
Thank you for watching Valley View News. I'm Fanny Cano.
And I'm Rabia Rashid. Have a good week.